Jason's always great to talk to you. You're never a half-empty glass sort of person, you're always half full. So even though the COVID has been really devastating for gyms, you managed to get through, but it must have been a struggle at times.
Yeah, Tone, I mean, it's been a struggle for everyone in the service industry, I suppose, and running gyms and kickboxing and MMA schools, but touch wood, the gym is busy. I think everybody just wants to get back into training and their mental health and stuff, so we're blessed. So the gym has been busy, so yeah, man. And I wish all the best to everyone else that's running gyms and schools and stuff, yeah.
Recently, you were a representative with the IMMA, and you went to Abu Dhabi. Tell us a little bit about the trip.
Yeah, man, it was awesome. It was a good trip. We took a team over to Abu Dhabi to fight at the World IMMAF Champs, and the guys did very well, excelled themselves. Special mention to a young kid, Fergus Jenkins as well. He won like 4 or 5 fights in a row, ended up winning the world title, which is good for New Zealand. Yeah, man, it was an awesome trip, eh? Yeah, funny enough, every IMMAF World Champs, we do the haka, and they mention it that every time we do the haka, we end up winning the world title. So yes, yeah, it's quite strange, yeah. So it's a good feather in the cap for New Zealand and mixed martial arts in general. So yeah, that was a good trip, eh?
So I know that yourself, Matt Toa, and I think Carlo Meister was there.
Yeah.
Who else was in the team as officials?
There was official coaching team. Yeah, Carlo, myself, and Matt Toa, and Terry Hill, our president, came over, and we had quite a nice big squad as well. Eh? So it was actually a very good tournament. Putting together quite a big squad for the 8th and 9th and 10th of July. At the Oceanas in Brisbane in Australia in July. So we're busy racking up a good solid team for that. So yeah, man, it never ends. It's just one show after the next show, and just trying to keep our place up in the world champs in amateur MMA scene.
And how important is it at the amateur level to get that international, because it's very hard in New Zealand to bring fighters in and fight international fighters?
Yeah, right now it's a struggle because of all the mandates and the COVID and stuff, and bringing people in. But man, it's important, eh? Oh, it's important. You know, you can see there's such a huge jump from the amateur MMA scene in New Zealand, fighting locally, and then when you get to the world champs, so you're fighting the best people in Brazil, the best amateurs in Russia, the best amateurs in Sweden, and you won't believe how many of those youngsters that do well in IMMAF end up in the UFC and on top events and promotions. So you know, and not just the UFC, but on Bellator and Brave and everything. So I think it's important, man. You've got to try get across the ditch and out of New Zealand and try fight internationally if you want to make it in mixed martial arts. Yeah, it's a good stepping stone.
Yeah. You had a couple of boys from your own gym.
Yeah, they did well. They unfortunately weren't lucky in winning their matches. One of our guys is still over there in Slovakia. He fought on the weekend and he won. He's had 3 fights already since then, Oliver Schmidt. But yeah, and you know, the world champs it's an awesome opportunity. But I tell you what, also, you know, you choose a tough team. You know, you're gonna have your hands full. Don't get me wrong, they're all good. But the ones that stick out are Tajikistan and Russia and Bahrain, you know, and Sweden. I would say that those guys are top of the food chain. If you choose them in the first round, it's a hard fight. It's going to be a hard night, you know. And there's no really like easy fights. But every now and again, you know, you're going to get someone a lot easier than from Bahrain or Russia or someone. You know, those guys are tough. Their pedigree is wrestling as well. So, you know, they know they've got 4 or 5 fights in a week. Nobody wants to stand there and throw punches and kicks and get hurt and get injured going into the next round. So their mandate is to shoot and take you down and hold you down and win the fight that way. And New Zealand, I don't think right now we're getting better, obviously. You know, I can't say that Fergus won his fights, but you know, we need a bit more of the wrestling stuff, that wrestling style of MMA. You know, especially for the IMMAF tournaments. Maybe on the UFC as such, a lot more striking and that. But I think, you know, we just need to get up on our wrestling level and our wrestling game. So yeah, but we're getting there.
And of course, on the locals scene, Shuriken has been the mainstay for many years now. And how busy are you with tournaments and things here?
Yeah, man, we're busy, touch wood. We got a tournament on Friday at the YMCA, which is sold out. It's a Wim to Warrior finale. As you know, Wim to Warrior have just changed their names to Train Alta. So it's season 2 and season 3 on Friday night. So it's going to be a great night on Friday. All the guys are fighting. That's on the 22nd of April. On the 21st of May, we've got a big show at the Event Finder Stadium. And then again, another grassroots on the 25th of June. And 8th of July off to Australia. And yeah, it's good. It's good. We just keep on doing what we're doing. The fighters are getting fights. They're being active, which is good. So we just keep plodding along. I know there's a lot of tournaments in May. I think Matt Tower's got a tournament down in XFC down in Dunedin on the 20th. And Vahid from Born to Fight's got a show the following weekend, which one of our girls, Amanda's, fighting on that show. So yeah, man. Yeah, we just do what we can do and keep on doing what we're doing,
You know, we've got our UFC fighters. From the amateur to the step up to finding a platform like Bellator, or how difficult, where are we situated in that?
Oh no, we're not far off. We're not far off. You know, one of the guys from Oliver MMA, JJ Wilson, he's doing very well in Bellator. Hakaraya Wilson's just gone over to live with him, and he won his first fight a little while ago. He'll be looking to get into that promotion soon. Yeah, man, you need a solid amateur record to even be looked at. You know, you can't have one or two fights and then expect to jump into the UFC. The guys that are in the UFC, the Carlos Albergs and Kai Francis and Dan Hookers and Israel, they all did their time. People forget, you know, they think, yeah, I'm just going to have 2 fights and start getting $1 million a fight. You know, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. They fought on every promotion, including Shuriken events and stuff, and kickboxing shows, and man, they did the hard yards. Yeah. And now it's coming to fruition. So, yeah, you know, build up a solid record, clean up your backyard, win a few XFC titles, win some, you know, amateur Shuriken fight FS titles, and a few of the events locally, and then turn pro. But these guys, 2 or 3 fights and they want to turn pro, and then once they've cleaned up the local, had a few local pro fights, there's no one to fight in New Zealand anymore. There's only a few certain pros we have, you know, and then they end up falling by the wayside, or not fighting in 2, 3, 4 years. A fighter cannot fight for 3 years. You need to fight. He's turning professional to make a living, to feed his family, and also to keep active and to get into a bigger promotion maybe. They'll look at your records. No one's going to look at your record if your record is 1-6. You know, 3-0 or 5-0 maybe, but you need to keep active. So I just say get as much amateur experience as you can, and when you've cleaned up your own backyard and maybe an Australian amateur scene, then turn pro and you know, so yeah. Don't rush it, Don't rush it, yeah.
Oh, well, as usual, you're providing the opportunities with your tournaments, and long may it continue, mate. Yeah,
man, I'm just very blessed. I've actually got quite a good rapport with all the coaches and the guys that run the gyms, and I've got good help with the gym and everything. I don't do it alone. It's all the guys in the gym and help me do the shows, and all my great coaching and everything. So I mean, I couldn't do it without them. They do all the work. I'm just a figurehead. I don't do much work. They do all the work. And like I said, with everyone that's supporting the shows and everything, we get them, from the fighters and from the guys that run the gym. And it's opportunity for their fighters. Where they're going to fight, you know. Support the shows, man. Support local first, and build up the amateur scene. Build up your fighters, and then they'll start looking at you when you've got a good, solid amateur career, you know. So it's all symbiotic, tone. Everyone kind of works together to build up New Zealand, and in New Zealand, MMA in New Zealand, and keep on doing what we love, you know. Yeah, and also to you, Tone, thank you for, you know, all the hard work, and over the years, I know it's a selfless sacrifice, but we've got to do it,
Yeah.
I'd rather be doing this than sitting in an office,
Me too, man. Hey, cheers,
Tone. Thank you, man. Thanks for coming up.
Cool.
Ciao.